truth, yeah, ruthless truth. Get down, it could go bad for you. Hit like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. Be cool, city lights shining so bright. Fine dining nights feels right. Flights to places far from sight. Get right, ruthless truth, yeah, ruthless truth. Get down, it could go bad for you. In the city where we move, stay cool. Underneath the neon glow, life is fast but take it slow. Every moment like a show. Let's go. Dancing through the night, we got energy flows we can't hide. Feel alive, we outside. Moments fleeting but we shine. In this rhythm we align. Time flies. Moments fleeting but we shine. In this rhythm we align. Time flies. Ruthless fleeting but we shine. In this rhythm we align. Time flies. Truth, yeah, ruthless truth. Get down, it good bad for you. In the city where we move, stay cool. Stay cool.
Hey, nobody bigger than the program.
What's up, YouTube? Well, today, man, this is on the fly. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just seen this and I was like, you know what? Let's have the conversation. You know, do women with money only qualify for pookies? I have to say yes. I have to agree with JP on this one. And the reason why I agree with JP on this one, because the men with all like money, they don't want a boss bitch, right? So, you know, Pookie, who's going to most likely be, you know, not as economically efficient, he would be more of use to her. So women with money don't really get along well with dudes, with other dudes with money, right? They divorce a lot. They just don't get along. But so I think women with money need broke niggas. I really do. I think that's where they best perform at. I mean, you would think that if they got with a, you know, a high earner man to make more, double or more. I mean, I don't know though. I don't know if I would. I don't know though. Maybe y'all can help me out. I'm a little conflicted. I mean, who should qualify Pookie? Will it last? Will it be healthy? No. But she definitely doesn't qualify for the guy with all the money, like her or more. Right? Because he's not going to want the problems. Because you look at all the men who marry women with money, like Tom Brady, he married a woman with money like him, and it didn't work, right? She left him. See, that's the problem with marrying a woman with a lot of money, and you got a lot of money. She thinks she's equal to you. And that will be a conflict of interest. Because if I have all this money, and I don't want nobody challenging me about anything, right? That's serious, period. I know you're my woman, I love you, but I don't want you to challenge me about what I'm finna do with this money. And you need to fall under my leadership. But women with money, you know, they boss bitches. So that's not going to work. So we're going to listen to JP make this case. JP makes an interesting case. Maybe y'all can give me some help. Because I'm conflicted. I do kind of agree with them. They do probably most likely qualify pookies because of their mindset. I still don't think it would work because women dealing with guys who are broke, she's going to dog walk that nigga. She's going to dog walk him. So, but if you really think about it, if she was to humble herself, she'll have a better chance to make it work with a pookie than a man of her caliber. That's for sure. So let's hear what JP got to say on this. Let's go.
You said a woman who earns enough, she got a degree, she got a stability, she actually qualifies for the pookie, right?
Yeah.
Who are those women likely to choose?
A lot of times they either choose themselves or a pookie.
We don't feel like our grandmothers and mothers were oppressed. We were actually told how they felt in their marriages. So this is not like a feeling. This is not something that we saw and was like, I bet they unhappy. They literally sat down and told us the things that they experienced and how they felt in their marriages. So this is not just osmosis. We're just creating this. They told
It's still a it's still a
now,
feeling because you don't have facts.
that might not be all women.
I will argue that a woman is worth, one is her beauty, two is the energies that she has to offer a man. That's femininity, that's nurturing, that's peace, that's loving, mothery like. Lastly is her fertility. That's never going to change for men. I want to say that I believe that the attraction changed for women of men. Back in the day, I don't know why us men and black men specifically keep trying to live in the past. I think the attraction for men that women have today for men, it used to be a man that's educated, a man that worked because she had to depend on him and had to find security within that man. But now women have gained their independence. Her attraction for men changed. That means she can pick any man she wants. So if she want the thug, I would argue that women with money qualify for a pookie or a thug.
And that is so true, man. Women with this independence, they can pick any man they want. And they can get rid of any man they want. And this is the curse and blessing of a woman having money. It's a blessing because she's able to at least, come with something to the table. But the curse is now she wants to challenge. She wants authority. She wants input on everything, and it's very difficult to have two lions in the house. You can't have two lions on the same mountain. It just ain't going to work. It's just not going to, this is why Jennifer Lopez is divorced so much, because she always picks these high value men of her caliber or higher, and she's on her going on her seventh husband, sixth husband. Because one thing about it, high caliber men are more, they got a lot of money, so they don't want to hear pushback on what they think the future is going to be or which direction the household is going to go in. You just can't have two motherfucking lions on the same mountain. One of them got to die. That's how it goes in the Lion Kingdom. You can step in the Lion's Kingdom, and if you're 300 yards, 400, 500, 600 miles, you could be 110 miles away, and he's coming to hunt you down. He'll pick up your scent, and he's coming to rectify you. 100 miles on his territory. If you step in one inch on his territory and he smells you, you could be 100 miles away. He's coming to get you. So it just, men, we instinctively are apex predators. So we don't want to hear the pushback. Now, we don't mind, granted, our women having a grievance or an idea. You can run it by us, baby. Boo, you can run it by us. But when we make that final call, we want you to take it on the chin. If we don't say we're not moving that way, we already have a plan in place, and we're sticking to the program. We need you to sit down and be a bad bitch while we do what we do. Take it on the chin and say, you know what? My man knows what the fuck he's doing. He's already at the top of the ladder. He's already elite. Why do I need to continue to challenge his greatness or his efficiency or his effectiveness when I come in and sign up on his program? But this is the problem with women with education and money. they don't look at it that way. They look at like, you need to treat me as your equal, and I want to be treated as your equal. And this is why I kind of a little bit agree with JP. They might only qualify to put the pookies, because the pookie he's gonna take a back seat because he wants, and he's gonna want that money and that support. And maybe this is what she needs. Now he has to humble himself because she's going to run the show. But I don't know what else to say. Let's finish. Let's see how JP breaks this down.
Why? Because a lot of you educated men not gonna let that be the determining factor of choosing that woman to be your wife just because she got a degree or because she got money. You got enough money to the point where you wouldn't need her for her money. Whereas a guy like me, I won't mind using her for it. That's one. Secondly, women value now they when you ask women what do they bring to the table, they usually say money, degrees, and woo out the band, right? They more worthy to society now. They trying to placate to society. They not playing K to no man. Well, a lot of times when you hear women speaking in 2025, what they do for a man, they don't have nothing really nothing with substance that she gonna offer a man. What she gonna tell you is what she gonna offer to society. Although she's not marrying society, but that's the way their mind is set up now.
Can I ask you a question?
When you go ahead.
Based on your first point, you said a woman who earns enough, she got a degree, she got a stability, she actually qualifies for the pookie, right?
Yeah.
Who are those women likely to choose?
A lot of times they either choose themselves or a pookie because.
Now I will have to disagree with JP on who they choose. They're going to choose someone who make equal or more than them because their egos is really high. They won't most likely choose a pookie. But in the theory that JP's presenting, I kind of agree. They might only, because their egos are so big, they need to date down. They need to find somebody who is going to let them live inside of their boss bitch type mindset. Someone who really needs their money, who needs their resources. A guy like house husband. Drizzle, right? But, I think that is a more better fit for them because you picking the high earning guy, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Bill Gates of the world, they're not even going to hear your grievances. Why would they listen to your grievances when they can just buy them submission? They can buy. See, submission can be bought. Sex can be bought. See, this is what we got to understand. All the things that women offer now or used to offer can be bought now. Yeah, we know it's pretended. We know it's faking, but it was faking back then too, right? Because that's what, the grandmas and them was teaching us, don't be like me, baby. I had to fake it till I make it. You have a chance to live your dream. But now in 2025, you can buy everything that a woman has to offer. You can buy her femininity. It might be for a short time. You know what I mean? It might be for a fantasy. But these things can be purchased. I'm just saying, right? So a woman with an education and a lot of money just won't work with a guy who has as much or more than her. It just, they're going to bump heads. And this is why they're divorcing. This is why they're leaving. Because they just can't get along with these guys.
Because a lot of the upper class guys, unless that woman still know how to maintain her, like a different race woman, I think a educated woman would fit. Wait. I think an educated woman in 2025 The only women that will qualify for educated, let's say black men. Black men, if you want an educated, successful woman, you will have to probably go to a different race of women. Black women education and success has been used to devalue her black men. So a lot of times when black women get educated and get successful, it's just a buck up against their man. Whereas other races of women, when they get their degrees, it's to build a family to put their money together. I
Well, I
guarantee
got
you,
some pushback.
if you, let me land it right here, Bruiser. I guarantee you, if you ask the majority of black women who would call you a leader, that when stuff go wrong, you are to blame for it because you are the leader. I guarantee you, if you ask any one of these women with money, a lot of money, to put everything in your hands, everything in your bank account, I guarantee you these women gonna tell you hell no.
And I 100% agree with that. Matter of fact, she's not even going to let you have access to her account. So, once again, right, two successful people married is living two individual lifestyles, right? They come together, whatever they do, their time they're off. He's running his business, she's running her business, or managing or whatever it is, right? And these why these relationships tend to fall apart because now she's off and running, and neither one of y'all really have time for each other. See, the dynamics of a good relationship is you got to spend time with each other. And if I hate to say it, the more time you spend with together, the more chance you have to keep, more chance your bond has of growing. Or, and I'm not saying it's the best way, but I'm saying if you're going to be in a long-term relationship with someone, you guys have to spend at least an amount of time so it can continue to cultivate the growth. Because if, let's say you guys date and then get married and boom, and then you guys get busy and start doing other things, the relationship goes left, right? She forgets about, right? Your bonds can be broken over time, especially apart, right? And this is why I think a lot of women divorce, because once again, a lot of these men have to work a lot of hours, and the men they don't have time to cultivate that bond that they built, because you have to pay the bills, then you got the kids, then you have to sleep. 7 hours sleep, 6 or 7 hours sleep is very valuable. It's more valuable than you think, right? That's something that has to happen. So basically, in retrospect, you only got the weekends in most part. So this is why a lot of bonds are broken over time, right? This is why it's very hard to maintain someone's happiness when you marry them, because you have to pay those bills. And once again, the average American or even the rich man works a lot of hours. Even the rich man, most rich men are addicted to working. Even if they already got a lot of money, they still working like they ain't finna go broke tomorrow. So a Pookie, she gonna have time. But I don't think this is necessarily gonna work though, because once again, women they look at men with no money. They don't respect them at all. They don't respect the man with the money. They definitely don't respect you without. So I don't necessarily think that's going to work long term. Her being with a Pookie and she's making $250,000 a month or $250,000 a year, and she's going to go with a nigga who basically runs the streets all day. I don't think that's going to last. That might last only 90 days to 180 days, because women, when they get money, they look at people who don't make as much of them as beneath them. They look at that nigga, you beneath me. So, unless she's a cougar woman, and all that cougar woman gonna do is pay that nigga to dick her down, blow her back out, and leave. Don't, and when I call you, pull up. That's it. She's not going to build a relationship or companionship with these dudes. So I don't know, JP. I don't know if that's possible. I think it won't work, but I do agree with you. They do qualify for them.
Black
Yeah, I
women.
agree. So this is my
That
pushback.
goes to show you.
You're trying to get me to believe, or everybody listening to believe, that the higher the woman go up the corporate ladder, whatever, in her career endeavors, whatever stability, she becomes independent, financially stable on her own. You're saying, you're trying to persuade us that these women go back down the dating market to date the pookies.
Yes. Because
Where's your facts at?
the reason why, just based off what I see in real life.
Okay,
So
so it's anecdotal. Okay, I
no,
got
no, no,
nothing
no.
to say to that.
Okay, so okay, now Bruce, think about it. Uh, let's start off a woman's worth. I think we need to clarify that what she's worth to a man, not what she's worth to society. So a lot of times I will argue that a woman is worth, one is her beauty, two is the energies that she has to offer a man. That's femininity, that's nurturing, that's peace, that's loving, motherly like. Lastly is her fertility. That's never going to change for men. When we look for a woman, that's what we look for. In today's time, those women is not trying to excel in with those character traits. They trying to sell and placate more to society. How much degrees she got, how much money you got. No man penis get erected because she got a degree or because she got a lot of money. When we look at a woman, we're gonna say, damn, last time I talked to her, been with her, I felt so peaceful. She's so nurturing. She cooked me a meal without fixing my plate, blew out the bam and stuff like that. And most men, if he marry a woman, especially at a younger age, he want to get some woman pregnant. So let's say if a woman got a lot of money and degrees, but she can't have babies, a man, her value definitely going to decrease dramatically because she can't offer what majority of men, especially around the ages of 18 to about 35, she cannot offer that man.
And I mean, I like JP's making a good argument. Once again, I don't think a woman with a high education, a high degree, and a lot of money is going to ever take a pookie seriously. I just don't think it's going to happen. There'd be too many arguments, and she's going to let him know how broke he is to her, right? Women care about winning. They don't give a fuck. So I don't think that's going to ultimately be a good, but I do understand where he's coming from. That these women, the pookies would be better for them. Those type of women need men who need them. That's what the type of men these women need.
What he really desired from a woman, and that's fatherhood.
I get what you're saying, but what you're doing is you're conflating two things. You're conflating the characteristics traits that a man values if he want to make the woman his wife. You're saying she is not excelling or amplifying those areas because she's focused on amplifying the areas that push towards her individuality and her stability.
Yeah, because she's showing herself to be independent of a man, right? It's not.
But
more time focused on a degree.
If a woman is deciding that she want to be on her own, she wants to be single, wouldn't it make sense that she pursue her career and her individuality and financial stability?
Yes, as long as she's 26.
Why would she allow time to focus on femininity, nurturing, taking care, watching your dirty drawers when she got to go to work and pay her own bills?
Right, but she has to understand, as long as she's willing to accept that, not too many, she might die alone. Not too many.
You don't think by now it's 2025. You don't think by now that these type of women that's moving that way have accepted that?
You got to keep in mind, I personally believe, and a lot of people not going to want to agree with this. When you start to notice the marriage today, it's the same way as the church. Not too many people no longer value the church. And once they got rid of the church, the morals is gone. Everybody get to do what they want to do. So guess what? A lot of women used to feel as though their grandmothers and stuff were oppressed. So they view marriage as oppressed. Now they want the wedding. They do not want the marriage. So they want the ring, they want the stuff so they can post on social media. Outside of that, they do no longer want that marriage. They are not willing to feel oppressed today, especially if she's 35 and under.
Excuse me. I just want to insert this in this conversation. Um, we don't feel like our grandmothers and mothers were oppressed. We were actually told how they felt in their marriages. So this is not like a feeling. This is not something that we saw and was like, I bet they unhappy. They literally sat down and told us the things that they experienced and how they felt in their marriages. So this is not just osmosis. We're just creating this. They told
It's still it's still a
now,
feeling because you don't have facts.
that might not be all women, but there are women who were told by their grandmothers and mothers that their experience in marriage was not the best. So we have to accept that. Everything
But that's
else,
also
you can have it. But I just want
that's
to
all.
insert
That's also one sided though, right? When I hear women speaking in that such manner and saying that, that's only one sided. Which is they're getting from their mothers and their grandmothers, right? But that other side from the man, that side is never being talked about. And so, and I don't know, I don't know if because I'm on 35, right? So I agree with the guy. I can't see your name on there because I'm on my phone, but
They preach great.
and Mont, they are right. Like in today's society, what I'm seeing even at 35 years old, I know a lot of women that are getting degrees and still pushing for the Pookies and Ray Rays. I know a lot of women that are getting degrees and saying I don't want marriage. Like I've seen it every day, whether it's online or in public, they making it known that they don't want marriage. That I hear women talk about that marriage don't even benefit women anymore, and that's why they don't want it. And there's no benefit to it. And again, with degrees and money and cars, I literally see this all the time. Women will go get the Pookies and Ray Rays. Maybe that's some type of self control. Maybe that's some type of ego thing going on. But they definitely go down to getting the Pookies and Ray Rays.
because the power, right? They want to be the boss. They're boss bitch, and they want to get someone to rely on them that they can have, say so. Women like power and sex. That's what they really, to be honest, that's the only thing they really, really heavily desire from us now. Power and sex. The money is what they're charging for a lot of people. But if she already got the money, like let's say a Kim Kardashian or someone like that, she's most likely gonna want to find somebody who she is equally yoked with. But it's coming. I think we're changing. I think we're going to usher in a new era of well-off women with educated and good jobs looking for Pookies and Ray Rays because they want the power and the sex. They can't find this in other women, because other women don't have, they don't know how the bedroom performance lackluster, right? Women lesbian relationships, they fall very short in the bedroom. They don't have the bedroom etiquette and the prowess of a man, right? So what's up, Lord? Yes, who can check me, boo? Yeah, so lesbian relationships, this is why they don't work in long term, because women, the bedroom performance is lackluster. No woman can ever match the energy of a man in the bedroom. So that's why you see a lot of lesbian women sneaking out in the back door and go get them a man just to have sex with him. Then they go back to the girl for the psychological part, right? But once the dyke finds out, that now it's on, right? She wants to beat her up. She wants to put hands on her. But this is the reality of it. A woman would never be able to match. So ultimately, we're going to usher in a lot of women with high education, high earning, seeking out guys of less income. That will probably be in 2039 because they want power and sex. So they want the men with money like them. It doesn't work, right? Once again, you can't have two lions on the same mountain. You can't have it. It just won't work. Somebody got to die, right? So somebody's going to divorce. So what's happening? Women are going to want somebody to fight. Okay, or yes. Okay, or yes. They're going to want somebody to dog walk. They want somebody to be a boss bitch too. Women want to be bosses, especially when they get their education, that money. Even without the education money, they want to be boss bitches. But especially when they got it. I think this is where we're going to usher in. But I mean, if a guy up for being a house husband, that's where he's going to have to be. And they don't want him to advance. So they're going to look for probably the pookies in the right race. And then the men who are at the top are going to continue to deal with the young women between 18 and 25. Because the young women are for sale, right? They're coming out. They're lazy. They don't want to go out. A lot of these women don't want to go to the 4-year college and create debt. A lot of women opted out of college now, are younger because they don't want to get the debt. They don't want to go through the long way, so they're trying to go to strip clubs, OnlyFans, etc. So it's now 18, they coming out banging. Yes, they coming out banging at 18. Because you got to remember, a woman, the peak of her beauty is at 18. That's the peak. At 20, she's on her way down. So these 18-year-old women coming out and they put a for sale sign up. That's why you see a lot of young women deal with older men. So the older women who are successful, educated, they're going to go down, which is between 35 to 60, are going to go down and try to get them a pookie. That's going to blow their back out and listen to every motherfucking thing they say. And there's a lot of pookies that's going to do it because they're criminals. They don't care about no they might get a job at Amazon, some shit for a little bit. Pookies, they might become in demand because they definitely are available because the young women won't mess with the pookies long term. Because once again, young women want their bills paid and they hate to pay bills. So they're not going to deal with the guys their age group. The guys in the age groups cannot afford to maintain their bills and their lifestyle. They can't. But the older guy who's established, bam, she's in there. She don't give a fuck. So, and where do they find these men at? They go to the strip. They start working at a strip club. They start going to OnlyFans. And who can afford that strip club visit and pay those high strip club prices? The older men, the established men. And that's who they forge. A lot of them strippers forge the relationship with those, I would say, sugar daddies or sugar babies, whatever you want to call them. And they get their bills paid. Women not looking for love anymore. And that really was, but they really not now. They're looking to get their bills paid and they want to have sex. Now, some of these older men can't probably sex them right. So, they'll probably sneak off in the background, with a younger guy, let them blow their back out, but they won't give them the relationship. And this is the way it goes. So,
don't want marriage. Like I've seen it every day, whether it's online or in public, they making it known that they don't want marriage. That I hear women talk about that marriage don't even benefit women anymore, and that's why they don't want it. And there's no benefit to it. And
so let's talk about that. Why are women saying that marriage doesn't benefit them anymore? because women want the power to control the money. So they no longer want to be under a man's covering for him to allocate money. They got to ask him or they got to beg him or whatever, right? They want to be able to move that money how they want to move that money without a man's approval. So this is why marriage is not valued to them. They want the man, they want the money from the man, but without the marriage, right? So they rather you fork over the money for the bills and not have to come home to you and listen to you talking about, well, why are you dressing like that? Why are you going out with the girls like that? Why are you wearing them lashes? Why are you getting the BBLs? Why? Women ain't trying to hear that shit. So this is why they don't value marriage anymore. It doesn't benefit them. It benefits them, but not how they want to be benefited. See, this is what we have to understand. Women, well, marriage benefits a woman, of course, but it doesn't benefit them because they want to have the control of and the say of all the money and all those things. They want the power and the sex. So if they marry a man, typically the man has the power of the money because he's usually paying the bills. He got the money. So that's why, but usually the woman come with education and money, she leaves him because they bump in heads on the direction of which the house should go, right? Well, when she be single and have a roster and she's making her own money and these roster is paying for her bills as well, when they give her the money to allocate for her bills, whatever, now she can do as she pleases with her money and not have to answer to a man of how she's going to live her life. And that's what women deem as freedom. They call that being free from the grips of a man. They've thought their moms and them, or they heard from their moms and them that their moms and their grandmas and them felt oppressed in a marriage. They now feel I don't have to be married and be oppressed like my grandmother. I can now be free. I don't need a woman. I don't need a man. I don't need a man to listen to him and tell me what to do. Women are not looking for leaders. They're not. They're looking to lead.
Again, with degrees and money and cars, I literally see this all the time. Women will go get the pookies and Ray Rays. Maybe that's some type of self-control. Maybe that's some type of ego thing going on, but they definitely go down to getting the pookies and Ray Rays.
Listen,
Mhm.
I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I'm just saying that whenever y'all are talking about anecdotal experiences, what y'all are seeing is different than what y'all are what's being stated on a general statistics level on the most likelihood of a woman making it to the top of her prime or whatever as far as in her career, individuality, and stability, and then going back down the dating market. That is
Well,
not what the numbers are
may I
showing.
ask you a question?
Let me
May
ask
I
you a
ask?
question. Would you
What,
think? Do you think that Nicki Minaj is the depiction of what a woman is?
Okay, so got another video. And yeah, but ultimately in 2025, gentlemen, this is the women are dictating play. I'm sorry to say it. The men are no longer dictating play anymore. Because too many men are desperate to please women because they long for a woman's presence. They long for her femininity, her soft body, right? That they are taking advantage of this. They're saying, you know what? You niggas need us. We don't need y'all. We don't need y'all. Because a woman can deal with 4 or 5 guys, not have to give them sex, love, or anything, and still get them dudes to pay her bills. Okay, this is how women look at things. Women, I don't think men understand this. Women look at things when it concerning their lives and other men as a business decision. They don't give a fuck about love. They don't give a fuck about personality. They don't give a fuck if you're even educated. As long as you can pay them bills and she can rule over you.
Bruiser, you making 500,000. This woman making 200,000. She got enough money to be independent of you, right? So she's not going to be extremely submissive to you and woo out the damn. These women are telling you this. They not for the submission. They not for like the grandmama days. That's out. So you men still talk about the leadership. She got to follow your orders and stuff like that, as if you the top dog and she's down here and God woo out the bell. They no longer on that. So what I mean is, if you get one of those women that 200K, you're going to have to emasculate yourself, because she's not budging. She's not finna say, okay, I'm below my man, I submit everything to him, this money goes to his bank account. No, she's not doing that. She's going to say, you got your bank account, I got mine.
Do you think that Nicki Minaj is the depiction of what a woman is? Not biologically, just like, would you guys consider her to be a woman or a quality woman at that?
Value-wise, no.
I would say that Nicki Minaj, Oprah, certain women, when they reach a success level, they might date for something other than money. It's possible.
Okay. I asked that for a specific reason. Y'all familiar with Pauletta Washington, Denzel Washington's wife?
Mm-hmm. Wife? Okay, yeah.
Would you consider her to be?
I don't consider Nicki Minaj a quality. When you say quality woman, and the way I would evaluate her quality, who she can date or who she can get parallel to on the same status level. So
he gave a disingenuous person though.
The guy across from her on Nicki Minaj level, based on her quality, based on how I see it, I do not believe that the guy that's on her same level as the man versus her is going to go over and talk to her.
What level is
the nature of her career, the nature of her content, her videos and all that stuff, her profession doesn't warrant the type of guy that's parallel from her. So she would typically go and date somebody who was a sex offender in prison or some shit like that. I don't know.
What true table, that was a disingenuous question, because you compared Nicki Minaj, which is more to modern times, to compare to Denzel Washington.
We gotta let him finish though. He was about to try and come back around. Go ahead, True. Finish your, you said Denzel Washington wife or whatever.
Man, you cut Jay Prince off for no reason.
I was trying to get
he asked all those questions.
Go ahead, True. What you doing?
Who would be more modern than Savannah James? Probably is an equivalent, more modern, right?
Yeah.
We don't know them personally, but I'm talking archetype, what we do know about them. Who would you deem as more of a quality woman?
Savannah
James.
Yeah.
Why?
They embody wifely quality. And
she quiet.
A lot better.
We don't even got to say that. We just say we could chuck it up to her digital footprint.
What the issue is this: if we're talking about uber successful women, sometimes those character traits that get them to become uber successful are contradictory to things that men would quantify as good women. So it's hard to make that argument when you do it like that. You're gonna have to go elite income earning women for elite income or what she selects, and they don't tend to find the most dominant masculine men, because men typically don't date for that reason. So they'll find what their equivalent is.
All right,
if that makes sense to you.
And I think Savannah's a helpmate to me. I see her as a helpmate.
She has a natural, beautiful body, a beautiful figure, beautiful face. She obviously have a nurturing complex.
She have a history of having a husband maintaining a long time.
is a cosmetic being. She's
Do
got
she
her
have a
ass out
history?
all over our videos and social media and all that other stuff. And then her career, her music, her content is just not a. It's whenever you whenever a woman like that try to date parallel to the other side with men, it's typically going to fall flat. She's going to have the date down.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is why I asked that question, because I don't know why, and I want Ali to get in there, right? Why is it hard for men to understand that on the opposite side, a Nicki Minaj, there's male versions of Nicki Minaj, like a Future, that could not get quality women. And it's like when we're trying to.
So we got to ask the question is, what is a quality woman? Because if she's educated, she has an ego, and she's very ambitious, and she's not compliant. If she's a 3 or 4, she's ambitious and not compliant. If she's poor, she wants everything you got. She's only going to be with you for the money. So what is a quality woman? Somebody can help me out. What is a quality woman? If the educated woman is leaving because she doesn't want to be submitted to a man, and 3 or 4s are selling their coochie straight off the market, they're like, fuck this, we're for sale, what's up? And the poor women, the pookies are, they definitely want money, and they're 98% ambition of money. Then what quality women's out there? See, and that's where we have to find the thin line, right? We got to figure out who will be a quality woman for who, right? Because men are not a monolith. So some men might want their women to run them. That might be a quality woman, a woman who is assertive and dominant. Some men want this. They don't want to pick me. They want a woman to come and slap them in the motherfucking mouth and tell them shut the fuck up. Some men want this. Then there's other men who wants equal, right? They want her woman when she's away, she's the boss. And then when they're together, she can have a lot of input. They like the dynamic to be equal. Then there are other men, which we consider alpha male. He wants to run the show, right? He doesn't want a lot of pushback. He wants her woman to just fall back. Then there's other men who just want a woman to be a woman's presence. They don't care what. As long as she look good, smell good. Some men just want that. So we are not a monolith. We all don't want the same thing from women. So that's what we have to quantify. How do we quantify that?
I had this conversation. It's like, no, that's the same. Most people meet their level. Water meets its own level.
True. I don't believe that Future can't get a quality woman. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah. When True say that, he's trying to say that men and women are rating each other and evaluating each other's value at the same level. So the same is true if you reverse the equation for the Future versus the Nicki Minaj, when you're not compensating for the fact that women look at men different and men look at women.
May I ask a question before you go ahead, Ali? Real quick, I was going to ask a question. So, True Table to Bruiser, are y'all willing to emasculate yourself to find that?
I can answer that. No.
Come on, dude, man.
Emasculate? No.
God, come on, man. Are you willing to emasculate yourself to find that sophisticated woman? Here's the reason. Because nowadays, women are not trying to say that she's below you. She's saying that she's your partner. She's saying that she's your equal, especially when she get her degrees, especially when she got a large stream of money. So if you pushing for that woman, what I've been hearing y'all men say for years, that you are the leader, you are the top, and she must submit to you. Or now, are you willing, if that woman with that type of caliber, she's not talking about submitting. She talking about being on the side of you as y'all are equal eye to eye. Ain't no submission. Are you at that point? That is considered to be emasculated.
If you get with a woman like that, you're gonna have to sugar bomb, tootsie pop, honey bunches of love. Yeah, you're gonna have to submit to her. It's gonna be equality, or in some cases, she's gonna think she's superior. The moment Kanye West went to Kim and said, "I want you to stop dressing like a slut," she slid those divorce papers to him. Nigga, please.
Are you willing to do that to get a sophisticated woman?
It's only considered to be emasculated if I'm at a higher status in income or whatever perceived value than her, and she try to play on an equal fair field. But if I'm running into a woman who earns more than me, has a higher status than me, and her career path and the things she do on a daily basis is just as important as mine, or even more, it's not a matter of emasculation.
Well, I don't think that's what you're going to be aiming for when you got the bread.
You just met a woman who can actually compete with you, and you want to call it an emasculation because you are below her on an.
Well, you're not supposed to compete with no woman.
You want to call it. Wait. You want to call it emasculation because a woman has outdone you on a socioeconomic level.
And when you find yourself competing with your woman,
off the strength of you got a dick and balls, you think that it's an emasculation. No, that means you need to get your. It means you're punching outside of your weight class.
No, okay. We talking about it. Let's just say, Bruiser, you making 500,000. This woman making 200,000. She got enough money to be independent of you, right? So she's not going to be extremely submissive to you and woo out the bam. These women are telling you this. They not for the submission. They not for like the grandmama days. That's out. So you men still talk about the leadership. She got to follow your orders and stuff like that, as if you the top dog and she's down here and God woo out the bell. They no longer own that. So what I mean is, if you get one of those women that 200K, you're gonna have to emasculate yourself because she's not budging. She's not finna say, okay, I'm below my man. I submit everything to him. This money goes to his bank account. No, she's not doing that. She's gonna say, you got your bank account, I got mine.
Can I add a woman's perspective in here too? Because
then we got to get Ali. Ali got
to. Yeah, please let's let Ali speak. But let me say this first, so I can add this in, because y'all are really speaking for women. Submission has not gone anywhere. We are not against that. We are against the type of submission that certain men portray. If men treated us differently, submission would be easy, cool. But what you said, if she can't have,
I'm calling cat. These women gonna want to say so, especially if they got money. Even without money, they won't say so. But especially if they got money, they're going to put their foot down. They're not submitted to you at all. They feel they're equal. Money is like, it gives people confidence, right? It makes people, especially if they got a lot of it, it makes them feel independent. That's what money does. It gives a purpose, it gives a person in their mind a sense of power. Well, and and this is what when people do. When they get money, they think about things like, oh, I wonder if I could do shit. I could do this by myself if I got to. I mean, I would like to have a man, or I like to have someone to be around, but on my time. The women are thinking like the men now. Just like Men say find a woman that's on get on your purpose, get on your program. The women are thinking the same thing now. They want a man on their purpose and their program. And what happens? That becomes a conflict of interest.
Have a baby, she loses her value. I'm gonna go over here to this woman because she can have a baby. Like, what the fuck? How did we become our reproductive organs? Because just a little bit of information for you. Y'all dicks don't work either. So I'm just trying to figure out, should I go to another man because your dick don't? Because so and y'all have reproductive problems. So I'm supposed to
my God.
go to another, like, we don't treat y'all like this.
So let me ask.
I'm saying this. I said all this to say submission is not a problem. Submission is a problem for men that sound like you. I would never submit to a man that sounds like you. So I just FYI, you need to realize that there is no blanketed submission anymore. We are not giving you submission solely because you have this broken dick. We want a man who knows how to treat us. So if I heard a man speaking like you, absolutely.
She wants a man to serve her. Women want men to serve them.
I would never. It'll be all day long.
Okay, let me respond to you. So what? Let me respond to you right quick. Well, I can't respond. Okay, what it sounds like is that women can have qualifiers, but for men, but we can't have qualifiers for women. So you basically saying that if I'm broke, right? If I'm poor, if I ain't making no money, you can say that I'm broke. You don't got to deal with me. I got to make a certain amount of dollar. But now, and that's cool, right? But now as a man, most men want babies and families. So when men get married, they want to raise a family. And if you can't provide that, see, the problem is y'all women has been spoiled. Us men never stood on nothing, right? Y'all kept telling us what we should want from a woman instead of us really choosing what we want. So yes, if a woman, that's a qualifier that we have for women. You should be able, especially when you talk about marriage, because marriage is yielded around raising a family. And if you can't provide that, I don't care if you choose not to or you biologically can't. You cannot produce what a man desire. So yes, you will not be qualified for no marriage just because you's a woman. No, we got qualifiers just as well as y'all. The problem is us men have to be silent because we have to protect the matriarchy and feel bad for women. So we don't got no standards for women. But y'all got all of these standards for us. You can say, JP, you broke. You know what you doing up here looking for a woman. And nobody get offended. But if I say, Miss Ma'am, can you have kids? And you like, no, biologically I can't. I'm like, well, you don't qualify. Now everybody want to shoot me down because I done says the most egregious. I can't have no qualifiers for no woman. Why is that?
So,
Bruiser, you making 500,000. This woman making 200,000. She got enough money to be independent of you, right? So she's not going to be extreme.
I think that we have a very serious problem amongst men and women. We don't see eye to eye. It's just not. I don't believe women are searching for what. I don't believe women are searching for how men are truly built. I don't think women want man to be the man that they are. I think women want the man to be the man they want them to be. to them. The woman wants to break him, right? She wants to break him so that she can, you know, make him serve her. So I just really think that's the overall desire of women. I don't think they're looking for a leader. I don't think women want leadership.
That does happen consistently, especially on social media. You hear it time and time again, especially from men. Well, you ain't ish, none of da 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 da. He was not short of shooting me the insults that he was shooting me. Boom, 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 back to back. When I stepped out of my feminine, hold on, please. When I stepped out of my femininity and I had to become aggressive so that I can have a conversation with him because he was overpowering and interrupting. And then that's when he began to say, oh, well, you're not this, da, 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 da. So then I had to step out of my femininity, address him accordingly. And then that whole conversation went the way that it went.
So hold on, Naomi, hold on.
Hold on, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Please allow me to finish. So this is all that I'm saying. I'm not saying, for one, if people know me, if you know me and know the kind of woman that I am, I believe in the hierarchy of God, man, woman, child. 100%.
No, you don't.
I speak on it. I speak on it consistently. I speak on the submission of a woman and how men are not supposed to submit to women consistently. Because according to the word of God, women are commanded to submit to men. Men are commanded to love their wives. Now, there's a whole, like, I speak on this consistently. The thing is, though, when things like this happen, like the conversation that happened between me and the guy underneath me, I will automatically be shamed to say, well, no, da 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 da. Women are this, women are that, women are this, women are that. Well, what tends to happen is that when men are having conversations with us, and then we're like, hey, you know what? Or hey, you know what? I'm just not interested. Well, men turn around and they'll be like, well, you ain't ish anyways, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. And it literally happens within a matter of weeks. Like,
that's not what happened though.
Hold on, Jay, I got you, Jay. Look, so
no, I just want to say real quick.
It's not fair what you're doing to you.
Told her that these two women said you wasn't attracted, you weren't groomed, which is shade, right? Which is the same smoke. So only thing I did was said, run my shade. I didn't come up here and try to date Naomi or Miss Bo, right? But you try to leverage just because you wanted me to feel bad about myself because these two Pacific women didn't find me interest, as if I wanted their interest, right? Okay, and so you try to leverage that. That's all what happened.
The only reason,
real quick, because
I ended up doing what I did and moved the way that I moved is because I was matching your energy. You were very rude and interrupting consistently. And every time I tried to speak and complete that thought, men always say that women are supposed to constantly rest in our femininity and softness. There was no way I was going to be able to have a conversation with you resting in my true femininity because of the fact of your overpowering masculinity and your rudeness.
So why did you support Bruiser? Why did you support? And this is what I mean. Y'all will pick what benefits you. You didn't get on Bruiser for continuously interrupting me and not letting me talk and going on monologues. This is what when y'all will support you will support a man when it's convenient for you, and you will leave a man when it's convenient.
Caliber of man.
And see what he's doing right now. See what I'm talking. See what he's doing.
Allow me to elaborate.
Bruiser literally will not let me talk right now.
So allow me to elaborate why. The reason why I didn't address, so there's things that I don't agree with on Bruiser. 100%.
No, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you that.
Right now, so give me, where'd he go?
He'll be back.
So the reason why I didn't interrupt, the reason why I didn't tell Bruiser stop interrupting him, according to the conversation he has with you, is because I've seen you on the panel go back and forth with him. You have no issue checking Bruiser. You have no issue saying, hey, don't interrupt me. Y'all have y'all's own monologue that continues. If I'm standing by myself, which is in this conversation, I had to, if I'm having a conversation with you, I can 100% rest in my femininity because you're honorable. You have the similar characteristics to Bruiser. You also I don't agree with some things that you have, but I don't have to worry about you calling me out of my name. I don't have to worry about you being disrespectful. You tend to allow people to finish their thought. I've seen you on your podcast before, so I don't have to worry about me not being able to speak. There's a difference between me being able to rest in my femininity around you, Ali, and then allowing you to be the man that you are with Bruiser and interact in that exchange. That's where this is where I believe that men have conversations with men. The conversation that I was having with.
And this is why marriage is inopportune. You can't speak with authority to a woman. You have to tailor your conversation off. And Boozer referenced it by saying, "Oh, I'm a higher quality of man." Nigga, you's a pookie too, nigga. The fuck? Just because you acquiesce and cater to a woman's ego doesn't make you any more valid of man than JP. JP is just a type of guy who's passionate and he's not as well as articulated, but he's just having a conversation. So, bottom line, this is just dealing with women in totality. They will tone police your ass. You will have to, if you marry one of these women, you'll have to bow down.
That gentleman, I can't be feminine. Because if I'm feminine, he will overpower me and overtake me and be complete.
You hear that? She said, I cannot be feminine. That means she's saying her femininity is conditional. That means if she gets her way. And this is why women don't value marriage anymore. Because women are finding out that they can get everything they want without getting married to men anymore. And not having to argue with them about inches and miles. Women want the power to be able to do what they want to do.
Completely disrespectful to me.
Naomi, the one thing that I gotta say real quick is
started off talking to the men.
JP, don't the revisionist history part. JP's energy was that way towards you because you did inexplicably, unprovoked, you did mention that you wouldn't date him. And I think that's a shot, and anybody would have the right to and would feel like, yo, you wouldn't date me. Like, shorty, I didn't ask you. I didn't even ask you that. Like, anybody would feel a certain type of way if somebody said that to them. So that maybe, and that's what I believe is why you got that energy from him.
So
I came in talking to the men now.
You know what, real dope? I concede to what you're saying. Although this man,
and she won't shut up. She just want to keep going. Even after the gentleman, Mont, came with a, hey, you triggered this by saying you wouldn't date him. Why would you say that on a panel is not a dating show? They're just here to have a conversation about, La Peep Network represents relationship struggles between men and women, and they like to talk it out, have the conversation. And you want to yell out explicitly, "Oh, I wouldn't date you." What did that have to do with anything? When it triggered a conversation that was a little bit like, okay, now I'm going to get on you. Now it's, I can't be in my femininity because your tone is the way you are now. I got to be masculine. So you went looking for a fight, and when you got it, now you're saying, oh, look at him, blame the man. But all you have to do is let him finish his point, substantiate your argument, formulate your opinions, state your position. Then when it's your turn, state your position, add context, and yield the floor. That's how you debate. That's how panels are for, debating. It's really a conversation, a debate in a conversation form. So you really don't have to interject. You really don't. But that's just the emotional part. That's the part where people, not just women, men too, we tend to feel a need to talk over people and to yell at people or to slight people or to name call people to get our point across. and that is rude and is not constructive. So as men and women, we both need to learn to cultivate a conversation so that everybody can make their points and see who's right, who's wrong. And if we have to agree to disagree, so be it. If we agree, kumbaya.
Has been in the live previously and has joined the live previously where I have been on, where he knows that one, I'm a single mom. So when he came up with the energy that he was saying and the things that he was saying, the way that he was saying, and even to the point of him saying how women need the examples that he was using, about women making so much more money and this, that, whatever. That's what I addressed initially first. And then that's when all of that started. But I do it here.
Hang on real quick. Let me say something. I'm gonna pass it right back to you, Naomi. What y'all can't do to the woman is build a theme of questioning on answering the women on the panel. Who would they date? Who is their preference? Who would they like? Who values what they replace with another? And then whenever she start looking around on the panel, she can't tell you who she wouldn't date on the panel. You can't have it both ways. You can't build a theme on getting nitpick.
Boozer got his cape on tonight.
And trying to figure out what their preference is based on the man. And then when she having a communication experience with a man on the panel, she don't get to say that whether or not she would date him or not. You can't have it.
That's cool. Hold on. Hey, dope boy.
Wait. Let me land.
How long you think you land?
You can't put her in that energy and that theme, and then don't expect her to look at the guys around her to also give you little insight or intellect based on her selection process, based on the behavior that she's being able to see.
Doing a divine.
Hold on. So Jake, Darwin, I'm gonna come right back to my question. You're not about to run away and deflect by using everybody else. How would you get Naomi to like Jay Prince?
First of all, I wouldn't get Naomi to like Jay Prince, but I will tell you this. I'm a slick motherfucker, and I'm all about outcomes. If Jay Prince came to me and said, "Hey, look, you know what? I really like Naomi, and I want."
Okay, here we go.
I want that shawty. I want that.
Okay.
What I would do is I would hit Naomi up offline. I was like, you know what? I know you don't find Jay Prince attractive. I know he's not your cup of tea. What would it take for him to go out on a date with you and get the buzz? She probably would throw some shit up like, you know what? I don't like him, but niggas that I don't like, I charge them niggas $1,500. I will go back to Jay Prince and I say, look, do you really want to have a moment with Naomi? Like, yes, man. Tell me what I got to do. Well, you need to Annie the fuck up.
Here you go with this money pill bullshit.
So you a coach that don't change the man to get different outcomes. You have to actually talk to the women to get the actual outcomes for the men. That's what you're saying. You got to talk to Naomi to like Jay Prince. He can't talk to her to make him like him.
What I just did
was talk to Naomi and put some interference in so she may like Jay Prince.
Or are you gonna talk to me?
Oh yeah, yes, because you can't even translate your own words.
Okay, what I just did was I just showcased how I went into the market to see what the requirement was for this type of archetype or this type of man. I went to the market. Naomi is the action.
What is Boozer talking about, man? What the fuck is Boozer talking about? I went in the archetype for this type of man. Nigga. You got to be kidding me. Oh my God.
Actual market in this case. I went to the market and inquired. What are they for the guys that actually don't like? How do they raise the goal? How do they move the goalposts? Or what is the criteria or the degree of entry for this guy to access?
Boozer, you pay all the bills in your house. You're the sole provider. I'm confused.
It's this particular woman that doesn't naturally like this dude. And what I did was I showcased a way where I would go into the market. It doesn't mean I got to go talk to Naomi. I could just go study the numbers. And I
No,
could
you just
tell you the
no. Stop.
likelihood.
You just said you'd have to go talk to her. Stop changing it. You keep
You're
repackaging
not,
what you're
I'm
saying.
using it. I used the case with Naomi, me going to inquire directly with Naomi as a metaphor.
Why would you hit her up though? To ask her about, would you date another nigga? What the fuck?
Comparison to me going to the market using numbers, using math to say, okay, look, based on the numbers, based on the probability, based on what's actually going on in the market, guys like Jay Prince have to pay for women like Naomi. And I will
No, you
report
know
back
what?
to them like, hey,
No,
look,
no, no. You know what?
For these type of women that you want, you got to pay, or you got to wear designer,
So
you got to wear jewelry or some shit so you can be more marketable
so
and more
you
attractive.
so you want me to
That's
tell
the
you?
game. I don't make the rules. I go in the market and I figure out what's working and what's not working. And I will go back to Jay Prince and say, well, look, the shit you doing ain't working. You don't have the charm. You don't have the jawline. You don't have the finish. You're going to have to ante the fuck up.
Right. So,
Hey, Ali, let me say this right quick, Ali. May I say this? I think the reason, what really transpired in this conversation when I first came up, I literally came up talking to the men in general. The women had an issue because I said I gave up disqualifiers that they are foreign to listening to, right? When I brought up that women that cannot reproduce don't qualify. And I see the offensiveness went through that. So matter of fact, Ms. Bowles spoke up and I started noticing their energy change because now us men can leverage their qualities, right? So if women cannot reproduce, if women not beautiful, and women don't have energies what men seek at the women, they don't qualify. But these women feel entitled because us men, like what Bruce is doing, never put them to task where they have to earn our wants. This is why I'm starting to believe that we've been misled to believe that we had to chase women. Why? I have never seen an employer go out and chase employees. I consider women to be the employees and we are the employers. If they saying that we got to provide, protect, and produce, we doing everything that an employer do, not an employee. So you trying to put us in a submissive position as men to be the employee while the woman that don't give us shit to be the employer. What are we going to gain for getting on our knees, bowing down to a woman that don't got nothing to offer? She don't got no fertility. She don't got no the energies that we want. And some of them within their spirits, if they don't got the energies, gonna make them not beautiful because they're gonna look uglier.
Why
right?
would you go after her then?
So no, but what I'm saying is this is so misleading to men, and this is why men is failing of finding mates because people have always told us to acquiesce to women and make them give women all of this power. This is the reason why these women up here feel like, and what she basically doing in the conversation is divide and conquer. She trying to leverage all of the men to piss me off because based on what I had said, that women don't qualify, they can't reproduce, which I still stand on, right? If you're not.
And that's what women do. They will pick one man against the other. That is the art of the game. So men, we have to look at this in a nutshell. That if you're going to meet a woman and you're going to build with her, you have to understand the risks versus the reward. Is she high risk of egotistical, very independent mindset, very pro-feminism? Are you willing to take that risk with that ideology? Because if you look at it, a woman with that type of feminism, equality mindset, she's highly likely to divide the house up. She was highly likely to leave you if, she can't have her way. So we have to assess, evaluate, and we have to understand that when we're dealing with women on a relationship basis, they may try to challenge are idealistic, are ideology. And being a masculine man to a lot of women is a threat. So we have to understand when you're in the dating market or if you're dating a woman right now currently, if you oppose a threat to her autonomy or her freedom, she would deem you as non-compliant with the way she feels and the way she thinks. So that means if ever something in the conflict ensues the relationship or the marriage, she most likely has an out plan, right? She has a plan B and sometimes a plan B and C. So this is what you have to most likely deal with when you're dealing with these women.
Beautiful, you don't qualify. If you don't have the energies that men desire, peace, feminine, nurture. Listening to Naomi, I can understand why she's divorced, right? She did not rest in her femininity. If you would do this to a man that you just met for 10 minutes, what that would look like for your husband with kids that you've been knowing all your life. You are a very argumentative baby mama. You are for the streets. You already said that you a fuck future, a ghetto thug nigga. So you are a outer race ratchet woman, ma'am.
Cook, JP, cook. Cook, JP, cook. Because these women, at the end of the day, they soft girl era. They don't give a fuck. The woman you meet is going to have between 10 to 15 body counts, nigga. Face it. Ain't no virgins walking around. Ain't no virgins walking through that door anytime soon. And if you did, you'd even be worse off. Because one thing about a virgin, once you take her virginity, then she get curious. Because now she wants to see what else is out there. Can I get better? Women with low body counts are actually less valuable, in my opinion. Because they think they're high value. They think they deserve the world. They're easy and quick to leave you because now they're like, shit, I only got 2 or 3 body count, nigga. You better not make me unhappy. You better not make me upset. And this is why a lot of these women are fucking these guys' best friends and cousins and all this. Women are savage, man. They're savage. They are savage with it.
Your husband, and if any man get with you, you will not only be a second marriage, right, as a woman, but they will be marrying a baby mama, a wretched, loud mouth, Chinese baby mama.
There's plenty of
And JP, he was fighting back. He was fighting back. But we have to understand women are their own entity. They feel they have a right to disregard men for whatever purpose they feel they need to disregard men for. And they're no longer looking to men for leadership. They're no longer looking for value from men. They want to take your money, your sex. Money and power is the only power and sex is where they're dealing with men now. That's the only thing left because they can get their own money now. Right? So what do they want? Power, of freedom, liberty. That's power for women. Women take that as power, to be able to live their soft girl. If they want to run up their body count to 200, 300, they Gucci with that. Women love being 304s. Women actually like being 304s more than they do being wives and girlfriends. They go out, charge for their coochie, get their money, go back home. And they ain't got to listen to no man. And this is the way women are moving. In the next 20 years, no, I'm going to say less than that. In the next 2 years, women will be turning down relationships even. They're going to ask, do you want a roster spot? This is how it's going to go. Only you to have will be able to get the the plethora of women because he's able to make them feel good or whatever with the money. The rest, you're going to have to get in where they fit in. And this is the reality. This is the reality. Women are no longer, they're not going back to the house. They're not returning back. They will continue divorcing. This year, right now, 600,000 divorces. 600,000 divorces. And counting. So, pick your battles wisely, man. I would suggest that you stand up and pick yourself. Thank you. Rufus is out.